You're watching BBC News. I'm Philippa Thomas, live at Westminster on the day that the UK was due to leave the European Union. In just half an hour, British members of Parliament will vote once again on a government plan for leaving the EU, not the whole of Theresa May's deal, which has been rejected twice before, of course, but just the first part, the withdrawal agreement. That covers important matters like the financial settlement of the divorce deal and the future rights of UK and EU citizens. It leaves the most controversial element of all, the future relationship between Britain and Europe, to be decided at a later stage. Now, ministers say this arrangement today will bring a degree of certainty and ensure that Britain can extend its departure date until the 22nd of May. The Labour Party has said, while it amounts to a blindfold Brexit, Labour is going to oppose this move, although it's reported that some of its MPs may break ranks and support Mrs May's plan. Will that be enough to help get it over the line? Here's our political correspondent, Jonathan Blake.
Westminster on what should have been Brexit Day, but instead there's deadlock and delay. On show, the now familiar faces and fixtures of this epic daily political drama. The Prime Minister, long having lost full control, arrived at Parliament for another attempt to push her plan forward somehow. And those who could sway things one way or another knew they faced a choice.
It's a very difficult decision, and people will make up their own minds according to their feeling as to whether Mrs May's deeply unsatisfactory deal is closer to Brexit than a potentially two-year delay.
I shall be voting against it. It's a transparent attempt to try and separate the two parts of the agreement. It's like asking someone to sell their house when they've got no idea where they're going to move to.
Order!
The government argued this was Parliament's last and only chance to avoid a long, uncertain extension and leave the EU within 2 months.
The minimum necessary to secure our legal right to an extension, therefore, is that this withdrawal agreement is approved. And all negotiated exits that any member of this House might conjecture or dream of will require this withdrawal agreement.
But for Labour, it's a desperate move to save a deal that's all but dead.
Today's vote is a shoddy gimmick from a desperate government that is trying to hide away from the reality that this House would still need to bring the meaningful vote in the form of the political declaration and the withdrawal agreement back to this House.
MPs will vote this afternoon on the withdrawal agreement or divorce deal that settles our leaving bill of £39 billion and guarantees citizens' rights. They will not have a say at this point on the political declaration, on our future relationship with the EU. But splitting the deal in two didn't stop the well-worn arguments against it.
We have capitulated. This is not compromise, Mr. Speaker. This has been capitulation.
We voted against it the first time. We voted against it the second.
And we want to take you live to what is actually happening inside the House of Commons. The leader of the opposition, Jeremy Corbyn, is speaking.
Any attempt to build consensus. they face. The first Brexit secretary said he would get a deal that would deliver the exact same benefits as now. The current Brexit secretary obviously felt that's far too good for the country, because only 2 weeks ago he went in the lobbies to back no deal and to oppose an extension. That would leave the UK crashing out in just 10 days' time with no preparations and chaos at our ports and airports, leading to a crisis in factories, shops and hospitals. And what did the government's forecast say about the Brexit Secretary's preferred no-deal option? That would make the economy not 4% worse off, but nearly 10% worse off. So it's no wonder then that, faced with a choice between the Prime Minister's bad deal and a disastrous no deal, this House, has given a clear no to both repeatedly.